Dominique can use what she has learned from the disappointment and the failure of her first marriage. There's a whole lot of life left, a whole lot of love out there, and she can learn from this experience.
Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about Lifetime Network's reality-based TV series, Married at First Sight, season number 16, episode number 25, Reunion Part 2.
But before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Please click that notification button and send us your comments. And it won't hurt if you click that like button either. And we thank you and appreciate you for your support. So let's go. We're going to discuss Miss Dominique and Mac.
It was something to see, and when I say something to see in a good way, that they were able to come on the set, and be cordial with one another and be very reflective and really own their own stuff. Or I guess now that they've had a chance to go back and see every part of their process. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin asked Dominique and Mac what happened because we saw them initially being excited and happy and touchy feely with each other. And, it seemed like they had a good beginning. And he was curious as to what occurred that made them so angry and so disappointed that when they got back in less than 11 days, Dominique requested a divorce.
Yeah. One of the things I think was an issue that was stated was that Dominique was overwhelmed about, just this whole notion of being um, married to somebody who might not be in Nashville the entire time.
Right, she did say she and Mac did drag the experts a little bit and said that they were not a suitable match.
Hmm.
Dominique indicated that she thought that Gino was a better match for Mac and that she clearly did not want to move, so she wanted someone who was based in Nashville, not someone who is so flexible and being able to transfer so quickly to another state.
And Mac did eventually admit to both Kevin and Dominique that, hey, look, my intention was to stay in Nashville with my wife, but it didn't
Mhm.
work out that way.
Well, maybe that was deliberate, him being so flexible and temporary, but it is what it is. The experts, on the other hand, uh, said that, they too were disappointed with how Dom and Mackinley ended their relationship.
Yeah.
They believe that they didn't give themselves the opportunity to try. Dr. Swartz particularly said that there was no sort of collaboration, no effort to get from one challenge to another, and they were not team oriented. So, therefore, everybody was thinking about their own positioning, and no one was thinking about them together as a unit, as one.
Yeah, Pastor Cal mentioned that he thought that they quit, which is one of the many reasons why he was just saddened about how
Yes.
their situation transpired. They
Yes.
quit way too soon.
Yes. He actually said that they didn't bring out the best in each other.
Dom said, in hindsight, I could have and should have stayed much longer.
They did at the beginning seem like they had a good start.
Right, but then after she began to feel like Mac was not really interested in her, she began to kind of pick out all the little things that were bothering her, and it got progressively more and more annoyed each day, and checked out.
Well,
And then she used, from my vantage point, then she used Mac as a crutch to justify her being checked out and asking for a divorce first.
well, I see it differently. I see that now that Mac had some responsibility in her saying no.
No question
That
about it.
Mac told her to criticize him because he said that one of his weaknesses was he was unable to communicate effectively, and that he gave her the permission to let's say, critique what he was doing. And when she started in on him, he felt overwhelmed. He believed that he was now matched with a stranger. He had no real connection. So basically, after hearing her complain over and over again, he checked out.
Yeah, and he did say that, in retrospect, that he did have to take ownership over the mixed signals or misleading signals
Misleading
that
signals.
he sent to Dom about where he was with them as a couple and where he wanted to be.
Right, because he did admit that they had a conversation prior to Pastor Cal
Right,
visiting them.
right.
And one of the things that he told her was that he was overwhelmed and he checked out. So, based on that conversation, she said she took the initiative to just end it, not knowing that he was checked out for just that period. It was not a permanent thing he was feeling right through there.
Hmm.
Pastor Cal said they quit too early and implied that maybe she was a little immature.
Yes, that's
Ah,
being
yeah,
polite about it.
he was being kind,
Hmm.
but it is what it is, and that thing with them continuously attacking each other, particularly Mac. Once she made a decision to leave,
Hmm.
he became critical and ugly and petty with her. But she said a curious thing that I'm surprised she said, reminds me of fairy tales. She said she wanted him once she said her thing because she is a stubborn person. She wanted him to override what she said and, like tell her to what she needs to do. And he is not that kind of dude, get up and sit down or whatever floats her boat.
And that
And I find that a little strange because how is he going to say that to her and they really don't know each other yet? Some
well enough to
women
be
will
at that
think that
level.
is disrespect.
Exactly.
So I'm not understanding how she thought that he could do that.
Well, maybe it was an unrealistic expectation
Just
on
like Dr. Pia said.
right on her originating from her end in a way that she was kind of not taking ownership of an issue that she has with communication.
So that fantasy about the brother coming to get you or telling you what to do,
When things were
when
on
things
shaky
are on a
ground as
shaky
they
ground to
were,
begin with,
right,
is a non-starter.
exactly.
So
It's,
I
for
have
lack of
no
better expression,
idea.
fantasy, right?
Yeah, it is. So she was not, as Dr. Pia said, dealing with reality.
Mhm.
And I guess they were of the mindset that it all will gel immediately.
Mhm.
And maybe they had a taste of that and they thought that that will continue.
Mhm.
But any kind of relationship is work.
Mhm.
And they were not committed to putting in the work. They were still married people who were still single. At least that was their mindset. So she started crying once she realized that, hey, Mac wasn't all that bad. And Pastor Cal even mentioned, well, now you're seeing the good stuff, huh?
I think that was pretty revealing from my end because I think there was to some degree or on some level a sense of guilt that she was feeling for her part in how you know
Quickly she exited.
right and how things turned out, and I think that had something to do with the I guess some public feedback that she may have gotten,
Yeah, the
and
backlash.
yeah, that backlash in combination with her opportunity to see herself act a certain way on camera.
And her immaturity as
Hmm.
well.
So I think that that was not really indicative of her true self, and she knows it, and she was not feeling good about it. So that's kind of where it kind of came to
Yeah,
from.
because at one point she said she did drag math. She didn't besmirch his character, but that's not true. And Kevin had to remind her. We saw her continuously complaining, and Dr. Schwartz said
You did.
she had to go get her because she was complaining way too much.
Even though she said she came into the process wanting it to work, her actions I guess,
Said something else.
betrayed her words.
Right. And she was really broken up. She thought that she believed rather that she was a failure. And Dr. Schwartz said, well, you could take that failure and learn from it. Pastor Cal said that, she is not a failure, but the marriage was a failure. And there's a difference in that.
No question. Great distinction.
So she was broken up at what the possibilities of what could have been. And looking at them sitting on that couch, they clearly had a chance, but both of them blew it. Mackinley was eyeing Gina, and all bets were off. But I wish them well. I think what McKinley started with Gina is all the way foul. Like, it smells rank to me. I think Mac came across as petty. But we wish them well. So thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next bit.
Yeah, and let me just quickly give Dom credit because as young as I believe that she is, in emotionally in terms of this experience, she seemed to be in a whole different posture and have a whole different demeanor heading into this. That was reflective and introspective and just really revealing about who her representative showed up as in contrast to who she really is. I think who she really is, we saw, and more in this episode than we did at any time throughout the course of the.
Well, certainly there has been a massive change
Right.
from when she was on the show and she made her exit to how she showed up on the reunion.
Right, and
Big, big difference.
right, and that big difference is indicative of, from my vantage point, growth and maturity that she's had, an opportunity to experience after having gone through this experience and realized where she had made some mistakes and how that may have impacted their marriage. I hope Mac has had the opportunity to do the same thing.
Amen. We'll see you in the next bit. Bye bye.
Bye.